You're watching BCTV. We're all about Branford. You're watching BCTV, Branford Government Television, a service of Branford Community Television. This program is brought to you in part through the support of the town of Branford.
Okay, welcome. We'll call the Board of Selectmen's meeting for December 4th to order. First, a welcome to the board. Selectman Dunbar will be joining Selectman Higgins next 2 years. Look forward to it. Okay, first, can I get a motion to add the reappointments of Mark Winnick and David Steinhardt to the Water Pollution Control Board?
I'll make it.
Second that.
Made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item 1, to approve the Board of Selectmen minutes of October 2nd, 2019, October 31st, 2019, which was a special meeting, and November 14th, 2019, a special meeting.
Recommend approval.
All right.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say, any
Aye.
Edits, adjustments? Not hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, item carries. Item 2, there are no, we'll skip that, and we will not go into executive session tonight. Item 3, to consider and if appropriate approve a request from the Branford Arts and Cultural Alliance for the placement of 2 temporary art sculptures on the town green for starting July 1st, 2020 through May 31st, 2021. We have a couple of representatives who would like to come speak about this.
Hi, I'm Tony Terry, architect in town, and with me is Richard Blaker, who's also from the organization BACA, Branford Arts and Cultural Alliance, and Susan Faricelli, a local artist and industrial designer. Our group, BACA, is dedicated to creating worthy arts-related programs for the Branford public, and in this case, we're applying for the placement of a temporary structure on the town green. Temporary or non-permanent structures are intrinsically tied to almost all of our events on the green, whether it's a tent for the festival or the book sale or a bandstand. Those non-permanent structures are the backbone of these scheduled temporary events. In this case, the temporary structure we're applying for is much simpler. It's a piece of sculptural art, in this case 2 pieces by our guest Susan. In this program as a whole, we propose to create some extra surprise and interest in the space of the town green for people driving by, people walking, people visiting the green for some recreation, and possibly other open spaces in the town center to help enrich the experience of the town center itself, and thereby enhance the identity of the town. We've done this a couple of times previously on the grounds of the Blackstone Library, most recently with 2 pieces by Jonathan Waters, a modernist sculptor from Stony Creek. Most people are familiar with a large piece that you would see driving toward the library from the town center. In the middle of the largest portion of the grounds, that triangle of lawn that comes toward the intersection at Laurel Street. As you first see it and then drive past it, you see it in a constantly moving relationship with the surrounding trees and the library building. It fits the site very well. It fits that open space defined by the trees that ring that site. And the library has enjoyed having it for almost 2 years. So preliminary to tonight's visit, we've followed the usual protocol and we submitted this specific application with accompanying material to the by the artist to the town, which has referred us to the other main entities involved with the town green. Each of the 3 churches, the Academy, the Town Center Review Board, and the Green Committee, and now here. And if approved, we will install the first works, 2 sculptures, which will remain in place until taken down before the beginning of the festival in May of 2021. Okay, so with me, I would like to present Richard Blaker, who wants to talk about studies supporting how the inclusion of art in an urban town center area has been shown to improve the perception of value in those communities.
You just stated what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry.
I wanted to make 2 points. One is that studies have been done in localities, cities around the United States, and invariably, they've come up with the result that cities that have art in public art represent more desirable places to live. The second point is that our group applied to the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven for a grant for installation and transportation of sculptures, and that was approved for $4,000. So we're covered. Good.
And I'm the artist, and there are 2 pieces, and one of them is bronze. It's called Trafalgar, and one is the Trafalgar will be located, if you approve, alongside Montagues Avenue, not close to Montagues Avenue, but kind of away from the Academy. And that one is patinaed bronze. And then the other one is a stone piece made out of basalt, and that's more of a lower meditative piece that will go behind the church. I mean, not the Academy. I keep calling it a church. The Academy, there's a little area where there's some benches and stuff like that, and it would go in the middle there. And so they can just be easily placed. When the time comes, we can just pick it up and move it. We don't have to put a foundation or anything like that in the ground. We don't really have to disrupt it. If the grass gets destroyed, we can just replant the seed. So.
Okay, all right, thank you.
The interesting thing about the placements is that you don't see them at the same time. You have to be in 2 different parts to see each.
And that's it.
Any questions?
Looks like they did everything they needed.
Yeah. You had a motion to approve the request?
I'll make it.
Second.
Second.
Approve.
Moved and second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, thank
That
you.
was too easy.
Thank you.
Actually, it wasn't.
I was gonna say, I know this has been a long process, and thank you. Item 4, to consider and if appropriate, approve a waiver as permitted by section 73-2 of the Code of the Town of Branford and approve the donation of usable furniture from Walsh Intermediate School, IRN, the Reuse Network. This is an organization that we have donated to before. When we started this project over at the Walsh School, this is furniture that is no longer going to be used in the new building. They have some new casework, new furniture, and new classrooms to accommodate the students. And this is an organization that will come in, remove everything from the building, and they repurpose it in other areas. So this is really just meeting our requirements that they waive going out to bid for this furniture and are able to donate it because it is property of the town. So with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make it.
Second.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Item 5, to consider and if appropriate approve the 2020 Board of Selectmen's meeting schedule. The meeting schedule is in our packets. It'll be part of the agenda, but typically is the first and third Wednesday of the month, 6 p.m. It will remain here at the fire headquarters. There are a couple months due to conflicts with holidays, I believe in April and this coming January, where there'll be just one meeting per month. So with that, entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, discussion, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 6, to consider and if appropriate approve a second addendum to the lease agreement between the Town of Branford and the Volunteer Services Center, extending the lease for an additional 20-year period. So there's really no other changes, it's just extension of the terms. Please.
Need it moved?
Yeah.
I'll move it.
Moved?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 7, to consider and if appropriate, approve the creation of a coastal vulnerability ad hoc working group as recommended by the 2018 Plan of Conservation Development to work in coordination with the town staff to research and recommend proactive responses to the environmental challenges facing Branford's coastline, utilizing both civil engineering mitigation projects and recommendations for changes in behavior that may require new or revised ordinance, regulations, and changes in land use. And if approved, we'll appoint some members to that working group. Again, this, as stated in the motion, this was a recommendation in the Plan of Conservation and Development.
Recommend approval.
All right, moved,
Second.
seconded. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, item 8, appointments, Coastal Vulnerability Ad Hoc Working Group. Peter Muniz, Susan Bryson, Ted Els, Peter Henschel, Jonathan Waters, Doug Hanlon, Linda Erlanger, and a change in the agenda, adding Tracy Everson in replace of Adrian Resnick. So I'll put that, is there a motion to approve those?
I'll make the motion.
Motion second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? One point I'll add, this is a working group. If there is interest to participate, I'm sure the working group will appoint a chair at their first meeting and set up a schedule, but you can contact my office and I'll get you in touch with the group to participate in some form. And they'll be doing some outreach, I expect, in the near future to engage the community. So with that said, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 9, reappointments, Water Pollution Control Authority, Robert Imparato, term to expire October 15, 2024.
Recommend approval.
Second.
Moved and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mark Winnick, term to expire October 15, 2023.
Make the motion.
Second that motion.
Moved and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
David Steinhardt, term to expire October 15, 2024.
Recommend approval.
Second.
Moved and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Zoning Board of Appeals, James Setti, term to expire October 31st, 2024.
Make the motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 10, green use, to consider and if appropriate, approve a request from Shabbat Lubavitch of the Shoreline for the placement of a menorah on the town green from December 15, 2019 through January 3rd, 2020.
Recommend approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
If there's no correspondence, any other business? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Branford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BranfordTV.org.